where he was the bane of all these issues that Seoul Esports were causing up against their opponents, and I believe that's just about enough respect to be given. Now, looking through the list, we could expect Yada to be taken off the list. Now, we've actually seen both of these sides go on My Journey before. Is that going to be a big priority here in this matchup?
Ooh, now that the fact that the Arlie's been banned out, only one more ban slot for Seoul Esports before we get in. Okay, so it looks like it's out. But that also means that a lot of the hot picks are currently open. Okay, you can go for the Dolia +1 combo, or maybe the Ming Lady Sun combo. Those are the options that are currently down on the table. But looks like the first pick is going to be Dharma for DTE Gaming, that will allow them the flexibility and option to either do split pushes or also to backstep Seoul Esports with this current pick. And looks like they're going to go for the Dolia +1 combo for Seoul Esports.
Yeah, already picking up the Dune immediately so that he could actually get 2 ultimates to be refreshing some of all these battles for easier pickings as well. So DTA haven't really shown their cards too much, but looking at this current situation, they've picked up the Pei as well as Lady Sin. They want to play high tempo, and whoever this Lady doesn't actually catch with the Bloosh or even any form of a knockup, they will just pounce onto whichever that target is. And DTE, they are looking to have a solid pick-off roster right now.
Oh, lots of pace here with the Dharma and the Pei. So to match up with that pace, Mayen is very much needed. So I would expect that with the Mayen pick, the instruction is going to be this from the coach. Your role is just to track down, it's just to mark the Dharma so that he doesn't do anything funny. It's probably going to be the same instruction for DTE Gaming as well, telling the Dharma to be like, okay, you're going to mark down Mayen because you don't want any of those tricky moves, I must say, that comes from behind and do funny stuff, something like that. But now that we're going on to the next ban phase, right? So with the fact that the Dolia is still at the side of Seoul Esports, so we're going to see some of the combos being banned out. The Hoyi is out. Potentially, we might see the Long being banned out too. There you go.
Yeah, there's just going to be a withering out the pool. Well, we've seen plenty of Lady Sun that has been played out throughout the past week with very decent record, but when we take a look at this draft, it doesn't seem like it's the protect the precedent kind of composition per se. So perhaps if they really want to go all in, we got to also look at other options, which if we want to go safe, then DRJ is still pretty much up for grabs. And I guess like Arlie, of course, being axed out, they have to go for this DRJ here.
Ooh, okay. So for now, Seoul Esports mid is still open. Something that can combo with Dolia, I would say Yixing might be a good one, so that you can have a good AoE control. Can couple up together with the Dune as well to give that extra CC control onto DTE Gaming. DTE Gaming, they obviously pick their mid, so they won't be picking that. So Seoul Esports, I believe that's just free for them to pick. Go for the Yixing later on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really down to who's going to be the major front line. DTE probably will be looking for a tank support, and that's where the Lianpo actually comes in super handy. And to really double down onto what they're trying to achieve here on those team fights, they're bringing in that Marco Polo. So I love it. You can already imagine whoever gets caught, that fever barrage is just going to be swooping in. But Seoul Esports, I'm also liking the draft. You did mention Yixing. It's been available all this time around. This is going to be wrapping up the full lineup of what Seoul Esports has to offer with a lot of good disengages, and you can already look at that Dolia to have multiple targets where she could just refresh the elements, whether you want a double board or you want it to be on the Dune, or you want to get that Mayin to have unlimited spells to rotate around. I think that could also be one of the cases as well. As we dive right into our first set of the series, DTE looking to once again go on a streak while Seoul Esports is looking for their first win.
I want to talk about the Lianpo pick, right? Being the last pick here. This is an attempt to try to negate or to counter the world is my board by the Yixing, because he's anti-CC, so that will work for him. But contra, those are our theories. Let's see if it's done in practical for our teams in game number 1 between DTE and Seoul Esports.
That's right, as we're looking at the early span phase, Jun Young extends into the bush and immediately getting clipped for a little bit, but since Dolia could also heal up later on, it shouldn't be too much of a concern. Meanwhile, looking at this current standpoint, it seems like they're actually swapping things around where you have the Marco to be up against the Lee instead.
Yeah, so if we were to notice as well, they actually make an early swap lane. So they set the Dharma down to the farm lane, going up against the JK. And that's for them to essentially win the valley, that is. The Dharma will be left alone. But anyway, he is durable enough. So we can see here that he doesn't mind receiving a bit of damage from Seoul Esports. Plus, J, at the start of the game, he does not provide that much damage. So he can easily tag that one.
Yeah, Frost will work sitting for a little bit, but Flash has to be popped so early on, so... A little bit of a misstep out there, but it doesn't really cost too much, and that's where DTE goes ahead to steal a camp off of the members of Seoul Esports.
Yeah, that's a very fast-paced gameplay by DTE Gaming with the rotation, of course, and they want to secure a little bit more space at the top. But at the